men today aren't single because they can't get into relationships. A lot of men are consciously choosing not to be in one. And the reasons aren't what you think. For most of history, relationships were economic survival, right? Men provided, women depended, marriage created stability. But in countries like Australia and the US, that structure has now changed. So women can earn, women own property, women build independent lives, which means men are no longer automatically needed in the traditional provider role. So relationships aren't about survival anymore. They're about emotional value. And when something becomes optional instead of necessary, people start evaluating it differently. So if a man's life is peaceful, financially stable, socially full, he's not entering into a relationship because he has to. He's asking instead, does this improve my life? And this is just the first reason, right? In part 2, I'm going to talk about the risk equation. Why some men see modern relationships as high exposure.
Men didn't lose women, men lost interest. And once men chose peace, the system panicked.
You guys are...
MGTOW continuing to rise massively in 2026 wasn't an accident. It was an inevitable correction. Men didn't wake up angry. They woke up aware. Aware of the costs, the expectations, the double standards, and the one-sided risks. And once men ran the numbers, the conclusion was obvious. Opting out delivered better returns than playing along.
Guardian came out with a bunch of stats about Gen Z dating today, and one of the most shocking ones is that the one-night stand might be dead. It compares the frequency. 78% of millennials versus 23% of Gen Z. I think it's way, way, way too simple to assume that it's just because purity culture is winning. I refuse to accept that. I think it's that people are dragging shit out. You went out and you met someone in 2004, the chances of you finding that person and tracking them down or adding them on social media or breadcrumbing them, the like on their story that resulted in you going back and forth on stories to them coming over for a second time was very minimal, which I think means that a lot more people were seeing someone once. I think that's what this stat is missing, is how many more Gen Zs are having situationships or prolonged talking stages that never result to anything compared to what millennials were doing. It was far from the only grim statistic pointed out here though. More shocking, I would say, is that 63% of men under 30 are single, only 34% of women are. Is this the male loneliness thing I've been hearing so much about? I don't know. I don't really understand how that stat could work. Are men just saying they're single and girls are qualifying less serious things as relationships? I could not tell you, but the whole set of data has me concerned about Gen Z, and all I can tell you is do what you feel comfortable, but you're never going to find the love of your life sitting at home watching Netflix.
For years, men were told walking away would make them miserable, lonely, bitter, lost. Instead, the opposite happened. Men who stepped back from the dating circus found something far more valuable than approval: control. Control over their time, money, energy, and peace. And nothing scares a system more than participants who discover they don't need it.
Things that guys do that are for girls only.
Little ironic, isn't it, that some women seem to think gender roles are perfectly acceptable as long as they're gatekeeping things that are only for the girls.
Complaining about how much things cost.
Well, considering most women think that guys should pay for everything involving dates, they absolutely have every right to complain if something is too expensive in their opinion.
'Cause what do you mean? Oh my gosh, this steak costs $60.
I would have to agree. I would say that $60 for a steak is a bit exorbitant, but how are they going to try to twist this?
Buddy, do you have an idea of how much the foundation on my face costs?
No. Women wear makeup for themselves, remember? So whose fault is it anyway that someone paid that much money to look a certain way, just for themselves?
Get your wallet out and pay the bill!
How elegant some women are. Can't imagine why so many guys are choosing to remain single.
That's why the rise feels concerning to outsiders. Men aren't complaining. They aren't protesting. They're not begging for reform. They're just quietly improving their lives, lifting, building, saving, traveling, sleeping well. No drama cycles. No emotional taxation. No performance audits disguised as relationships.
Do you think women are more promiscuous now in 2026 than they were in the 1940s?
I don't know. We don't have studies or statistics.
Hang on. If it's the case that people were having lots and lots as much unprotected then as they are now,
right? And it's the case that abortion is universally outlawed, which it was, then how come we saw the rate of single motherhood so much less than we do now?
Because unfortunately, and this is another reason why I'm here, the government has incentivized by many ways to divide the nuclear family. And so
Yeah, but that's not the question. The question is asking about promiscuity. If it's the case that women were just as promiscuous then as now, but did not have birth control, and we still saw way less single motherhood, wouldn't that stand to reason logically that they were way less promiscuous then than now?
No, I think that.
Wait,
So I think that there's no way to.
Hold on. What is the number of premarital partners you've had? Do you think that number has declined or increased since the 1950s?
Probably increase. I don't know how
So
much.
women are more promiscuous today than they were 60, 70, 80.
Are men equally
How
more
would that matter? Great red herring. How would it matter?
Because you say that now.
Yes, men are more promiscuous
Yes,
today.
we agree.
Correct. So now
How
you're
would it
saying
matter?
that
Yes.
at this point in history, all women should be treated.
I didn't say, holy shit,
Yes.
straw man, you are the queen of straw man.
No,
when
you
did I
said
say
that-
all women?
Yes, you said-
I didn't say all women should be precluded from traditional treatment. That's not what I said.
Right?
Tell me what I said.
Yes.
Because I think you have selective hearing, like you don't want to actually be good faith. You want to straw man my position. I did not say that.
The most disrespectful part? Men are happy without explaining themselves. MGTOW in 2026 isn't about hate, it's about indifference. Men didn't leave because they couldn't compete. They left because they realized the game wasn't worth winning. And once a man tastes peace without constant compromise, he doesn't argue, he disappears.
I've tried to film this video like 6 fucking times. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I had a shower thought this morning, and it answers the age-old question that people always ask me. Why are you single as a 25-year-old? And I've come to the conclusion that as a 25-year-old, I am single because the way that I love and care for someone is considered love bombing. Because so many people have been done wrong by others. And that also means that my intentions are labeled as performative because other people have been performative. Other people can't heal from their trauma because it's been done to them so much that they think that's just how everybody acts now. I'm a lover boy. It's hard being a lover boy when nobody has met a lover boy. People say that this is what I want. This is what this is what I want. They get it and they realize, oh shit, this is real. And they have to run. And that's just self-sabotaging, and that's just a whole nother thing. But that's why I'm single. Because I've met people who have past trauma, and when I'm not this mysterious guy. I'm going to give you everything that I have from the moment we start talking. I'm going to be loyal during the talking stage. It's going to just be one-on-one. There's not going to be half of my time is spent with you while I'm entertaining other people. No, it's one-on-one. I don't ever want somebody to feel like they can't be themselves and they are not the only one. I know how that feels to not be the only one. I don't ever want somebody to feel that way. But because so many people have done it to other people, it's performative and it's a love bombing. So that's all I got. I know one of these days it's gonna pay off. I know it will. Someone is gonna come along, and that's why I never change. People have told me, well, maybe you should be a little bit more mysterious. You shouldn't give people your all. No. Because when someone comes along and they get my all and they realize, holy shit, this is everything I've ever wanted. Because I have felt that way about other people and things just didn't work out. That doesn't mean I'm going to give up on love. I love love. There's no way I give up on love. So that's today's shower thought of the day.
So the movement keeps growing, not because men are broken, but because men finally figured it out. Happiness doesn't come from chasing validation. It comes from choosing yourself and refusing to apologize for it.
I just saw a guy post a video about 5 reasons why everyone's single right now. And it was just, he hit all the points so perfectly. If I remember his name, I'll drop his name or tag it in the comments. But There was one point he talked about in particular that I thought was so interesting that not a lot of people talk about why everyone is single. And it's actually something I've seen a lot, especially used kind of as an excuse for men. But I just thought this point was really interesting. Because the obvious reasons are, you know, social media, dating apps, et cetera, has ruined dating, which we know this. Yes, that's true. But another point he made is that a lot of people, like older generations, when they met when they were like super poor, or like they didn't have to be like in a certain place in life in order to get into a relationship and get married. And now we see a lot of people today who use that as an excuse to not get into a relationship or not want something serious or not want marriage. They say that they need to do X, Y, and Z, or they need to make a certain amount of money in order to be in a relationship or feel comfortable to take something seriously. And I especially see this with men a lot, men that I've talked to, men that my girlfriends have talked to, even guy friends that I've talked to who are almost 30 and still not ready because they're not where they want to be in life, or they're not making a certain amount of money, or don't have that business that they've been wanting to start. Which to a certain extent I get. Sometimes you do need to focus on yourself and you really just don't have time to bring another person into your life. But it gets to a certain point where I just feel like it's like, I'm sorry, but you're going to end up being single for the rest of your life. Like, I think that if you want a family, then prioritizing getting into a relationship is something that should be important to you, especially when you're in your late 20s. Because you're going to start running out of options. People are going to start getting into relationships and getting married, and your options become more and more limited the older you get. And one example I can think of is somebody that I know who is in their mid-30s already and is someone who is like posting and like reposting content about like having to like work on yourself, or like kings chase the crown and don't chase the queen, like that type of content. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but and this is a person that has said that like they do want to get married and have a family one day. And I'm like, you're already in your mid-30s and you're like consuming and liking this kind of content of like you still need to keep working on yourself and like achieve all these things, like just obviously like not prioritizing or like wanting to put any sort of effort into starting some sort of serious relationship. Like, I don't know. I really don't understand it, because to me, I think that you can always work on yourself and better yourself even while in a relationship. Like, isn't that the whole point? Like, you're going to change and grow, but you're going to do that with somebody who is there to support you and be in your corner. And I think that whole aspect of a relationship is so cool. And like, I am someone who wants a family and kids. If you don't ever want a family and kids, and obviously it's not something you ever need to prioritize, but I don't know. It's just something I've seen time and time again with like guys, especially that like I've talked to, or just like guy friends of like, they're already in their late 20s or early 30s and they're still not ready to settle down because they're not in the certain place that they want to be in life. And like my parents, for example, they have been happily married for a long time and met when they were both super poor. And my mom just knew that my dad was a really hard worker, had a lot of ambition and drive in life, and wanted to grow with him, and they did together. My mom was able to become a stay-at-home mom because my dad now makes a lot of money, but he wasn't when they first met, and my mom was actually making more money than him when they first met. And yeah, I feel like we've like completely lost that. Like, I don't know, I think it's just really interesting. Like, I think our culture a lot really emphasizes this like self, like you need to like work on yourself and like self-improvement and self-growth. And it's like, yes, to a certain extent you do, and it is important, but it just gets to a certain point where it's like, if you're not going to put any sort of effort into trying to like meet people or get into like a serious relationship, and having a family and kids is something you want, it's like, then like, how are you going to get that? Like, I don't know. Does anybody else like feel this way or have experienced this? But it's crazy it's really crazy to me, because I'm like, you're already like I'm like, dude, what do you mean you're not ready yet? Like, you're literally running out of time. Like, and I guess for women too, it's like women who like want kids maybe think about it more than guys who want kids. It's like, we do have like a biological clock in a sense. Guys don't really have to worry about that as much. So maybe that's like part of the reason too, but I don't know. I just find it so interesting. And yeah, it's like, You can still work on yourself while getting into a relationship. Like, I just don't understand.
What really fuels MGTOW's rise in 2026 is how effortless it looks. No rage, no bitterness. Just men quietly stepping off the treadmill and realizing how much lighter life feels without constant negotiation. When a man stops trying to win approval, he starts winning time, and time compounds faster than validation ever did.
I noticed that there's a lot of people in 2026 that are actually still like trying to date and they want to date and everything like that. Everybody is thinking the same thing and everybody wants the same thing. My question is very simple to you. Have we learned anything? The last several years, the dating market has been so incredibly bad that everyone has been suffering. Everybody wants the same thing. Nobody can actually experience love. Everybody gets the same horrible treatment. Nobody gets anything. Have we learned anything? People seem to understand why the dating world was so fucked up before. Like, people seem to understand you're not supposed to have infinite options. You know, people seem to understand that you have to work on yourself. You have to bring something to the table. Have we learned anything? I know that everyone now claims to be emotionally intelligent. Honestly, are you though? Are you? Are you motherfuckers still mentally ill? Because it matters. Have we learned anything? If you guys are good, if you guys genuinely learn something, I'll start dating again for real. I'll re-enter the dating market with you guys. Everyone seems to be at the point with the scorn and the frustration that they do not feel like dealing with it, and now they are like reflecting on their lives and they're ready to jump back into things again. You worked on yourself, fair enough. Are you mentally stable though? Because it matters. Did you learn anything about effort? Did you learn anything about communication? Did you even once step foot in a therapist's office? If you went to a therapist's office and your therapist never stopped agreeing with you, holy shit, promise me you will not be dating. If your therapist made you genuinely uncomfortable with yourself, you're allowed to date, okay? If you didn't learn anything the last several years, if you don't understand why you are now dopamine addicted, you can't fucking date, okay? If you are out here just trying to exploit people, if you are out here on some weird ass algorithmic brainwashing, chronically online black pill, red pill, pink pill, God knows what else pill, you can't fucking date. You need to have fucking figured shit out by now. And if you people seriously are all still fucked up, I am not going anywhere near the dating market. I'm seeing people seemingly willing to try, like based on the posts that I've been seeing about 2026. And, you know, I'm noticing people like saying like, oh yeah, we ought to start approaching people in the wild and all this other stuff. I'll approach you in the wild, no problem, but you better be fucking ready to have a real relationship. If you people think that you could just continue fucking ghosting and all this other bullshit, absolutely not. If you people are serious, I'm serious.
The funniest part? The predictions were wrong. Men weren't supposed to thrive alone. They were supposed to crawl back, desperate and depleted. Instead, they optimized, financially, physically, mentally. And the more men succeed without participating, the louder the commentary becomes trying to pathologize their happiness.
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women. That it's better to be single, guys. And they're like almost proud. Like they're almost like happy about the fact that they're gonna choose and make the choice to avoid the entire gender of women because they have yet to actually resolve the war they have within themselves.
This is just for all my single men out here. I'm 28. I ain't got no prospects, I ain't got no kids. And a lot of trauma, right? But that's not why I'm single, because I'm lying. That is why I'm single. I ain't gonna lie to you, gang. I'm at the point I can't afford another heartbreak, gang. I really can't. My last one, oh my gosh, my last two. It was two at the same time, to be honest. I had both my exes set me up on some Maury Povich, or some Jerry Springer, where I'm talking about where we was in the crib. And one came out, all I remember said, say she lying. She said, say she lying, say she lying. The other one came out on some Jerry Springer. Oh, I'm lying? She came out with the walkout and everything, gang. Imagine that moment. No, bro, I can't afford another one of those, bro. I moved to Asia. What's next? Heaven?
because a man who is happy alone is uncontrollable. He can't be guilt, shamed, or rushed.
Okay, I have a theory on why all the hottest girls are single and nobody's married yet. I figured it out. It's because before, hot women were a rare commodity. Now, everyone is just way too hot. It's easy for girls to get hot, right? And now it's like when you see a desirable, high-value man, they have way too many options. And girls don't have options anymore. And it's so frustrating because it's like, people would kind of date in their lane, if you know what I mean. Before there was like fillers and Botox and hair and cute outfits and spray tans and all that stuff. People would date in their lane. Now, everyone's hot. And no, men can't do any type of like plastic surgery or height surgery or whatever. And with women working and men working equal pay, that's also a rare thing. So, ladies, we need to figure out a way to make men suck again. Sorry, they do suck. That's my point. They do suck. We just need to even out the ratio here. We're too hot. Men need to catch up to us. You know what I mean?
So MGTOW doesn't grow through recruitment. It grows through observation. One man sees another calm, focused, unbothered, and thinks, why am I still playing this game? And just like that, another man walks away smiling. No announcement, no apology, no return address.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.